and welcome to this session on technology books for children with me, Beverly Clarke. My Twitter handle is on screen at Miss B Clarke if you'd like to share any aspects of this poster presentation across on social media or to connect with me. Let me share a little bit about myself. I'm an education consultant, author, and coach. I'm a former teacher of computing, and I'm also one of the former national managers of Computing at School, CAS, here in the UK. I also hold a number of voluntary roles, such as being a board member, a trustee, a UN Women UK delegate, and a visiting fellow, alongside my consulting and coaching. But let's talk about authoring. During the pandemic, I reflected on the lack of women and female representation in the technology sector. Also, the lack of young people taking up STEM careers and the lack of people from underrepresented communities within the tech sector. And I started wondering, what could I do and what was part of the solution? And I focused on writing books for children to start to spark that imagination at a younger age. And with that was born the digital adventures of Ava and Chip. But let's get into this session a lot further and more on Ava and Chip later on. In this session, you will gain knowledge around embedding reading for pleasure pedagogy into the computing classroom and indeed into learning environments, knowledge of books that can be used in the classroom, and suggestions for topic areas. Everything that I'm talking about supports some aspects of the core concepts and the core practices of the K-12 framework. So who should read about tech? Well, in my opinion, everyone should be reading about tech. Absolutely everyone. Let's just stop and pause and think about the words read and reading. In research from the OECD, it showed that reading increased attainment in numeracy and literacy, really increased this attainment. Imagine transferred to technology, what this can do. Also, in further research by Clarke and Rumbold, they show that reading improved general knowledge and improved the vocabulary, gave students a richer vocabulary. Again, consider what this can do for technology. Research has also shown that reading helps with identity exploration and it sparks the imagination. So to spark the imagination around tech, I feel reading is part of the solution. Think about some of the big topics shaping our world at the moment, such as artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. As computer scientists, we are very good at teaching in the classroom and showing how to use a program or a package. But where are our students starting to imagine and think and question outside of our classrooms? And where are they reading about these topics? So hopefully, reading for pleasure around technology is part of the solution. And our readers will develop greater computational thinking skills. They will start to understand concepts and question them, and the vocabulary and communication will start to be, in my opinion, developed. I've taken these two quotes from the World Book Day site around spending just 10 minutes a day reading and sharing stories with children can make a crucial difference. And also reading for pleasure. Both of these make a crucial difference to future success. Imagine again what can happen if we transfer this to technology. Let's look at reading for pleasure pedagogy. This is research and the whole reading for pleasure pedagogy work that's been done by the Open University. Now, I have not been involved in this, but as a fellow of the university, I am sharing this. It's available on the Open University website. Research has shown that the pedagogy must be planned for, clearly and explicitly planned for. It must be learner-led, informal, social, and supported by texts that tempt. It isn't just that, of course. There are 4 underlying practices, such as reading aloud, informal book talk and recommendations, along with independent reading time, and all of this within a highly positive social reading environment. So really, really important for embedding reading for pleasure pedagogy within the computing classroom. Okay, so there's a course from the Open University, which is a free course, which I encourage you to have a look at, and it's also a short course. And you can gain a badge once the course is completed. And it helps with understanding more strategies and to help to promote reading engagement across schools, homes, and communities. What about texts that help and tempt? Well, there is the Library Voice by Shannon McClintock Miller in Iowa, and some of you may be familiar with her, and she's got a lovely Padlet board with picture books for digital citizenship. There's also a similar Padlet board by a teacher in the UK, but this time divided into different areas, which you can see on screen, such as coding, digital technology, and data. How about STEM books with a cross-curricular focus? The Tara Bin series has got lots of books and they have a fantastic STEM focus. Books could be included in our starter activities and lessons, perhaps magazine articles also. We can also use books as homework activities, and it just doesn't have to be a paperback or a hardback. It can also be an ebook or any reading material around technology. If we're doing physical computing, where are students actually thinking about physical computing or robotics beyond the session and the lesson in which they're involved? Roving Robotics Genius from Tara Binns encourages students to think. And you will also notice that some of the examples I'm using have got females in characters. So this is tied into identity and students seeing a reflection of themselves. There are also literacy days where we could be promoting tech books to our students and to our parents. There are many literacy days across the year. I've just chosen a few to illustrate what I'm talking about. A call to action as reader teachers. Share texts with your students for them to read. Let them know your favorite texts. And also, very importantly, we must be asking our students what they are reading, what have they read. We need to make recommendations, perhaps have book clubs, tech book clubs. And when reading lists are going out from schools, please can we have tech books featured on those reading lists? And of course, invite authors in and have books in multiple languages to foster a rich, diverse, and inclusive environment. Now, the books on screen are all picture books, but suitable for ages 7 to 11. So some of them could be used a bit further down, but would require a bit more explanation. So two written by me, Smart City and Self-Driving Car, with a tech in society focus. A first squeeze on data with more AI. Cybersecurity, how about a little cyber engineer? Willow finds an egg, supports Scratch programming and Scratch coding within the classroom. So there are lots of books out there, and I will share more with you in the resources. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my books are through avachipbooks.com, and my consulting and computing hat is through Beverly Clarke Consulting. The next slides that follow are resource slides. So I'd like to draw your attention to a few different things on this resource slide. First of all, the Technology Books for Children. It's a Facebook group that I have put together and created, and it's a public group for anyone to join in with a technology focus. There's also a reading list for middle to high school, so extending this conversation, created and collated by Claire Garside, where she's gathered together community opinion and suggestions on books that are suitable for learners, and that is also available as a Google Doc. There's a link to the Open University course, and I've given examples of blog posts and Instagram lives in which I have been involved. Here are some books, some titles, which I highly recommend you have within learning environments, and a few more. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have around technology books for children. Thank you.